Let's talk about a newly minted game today, Firefighting Simulator, The Squad. With an epic name like that, you're likely to think that the gameplay would follow suit. Team up with 3 of your closest friends to combat a raging inferno. Let's dive into this one and see how it plays. I usually steer well and clear of games like this because they're usually just bad. It's tough when you do something for a living to go play a game about it. But a friend recommended me this one, and given how beautiful it looked and how modern it was, I figured I'd give it a go. Firefighter Simulator provides a multiplayer firefighting experience with support for up to 4 players. Any missing players will be substituted with AI, who you can issue basic orders to. Unlike other simulators, this one is entirely mission-based, meaning you have to pick which call you want to respond to instead of standing around at the fire station waiting for a call. The more missions you respond to, the higher level you become. This in turn will give you more complex missions and unlocks later trucks like the ladder, platform, or rescue truck. The game evaluates you on your response time and efficiency on the call itself. The driving portion gives mostly good control over the lights and sirens, horns, etc., and for the most part, it drives fairly realistically. Aside from putting the fire out, you also have to search for trapped victims and bring them to the medics. Special objectives sometimes exist, like turning off the power to a building, and you can fail the mission if you take too long to do these items. When faced with locked doors or windows, you can force them open. Ground ladders come pre-placed for access to areas above ground level, and the game even simulates Class B fires, which are flammable liquids. The fires are beautiful, yet surprisingly they don't tank my FPS. I'm running an old 980 Ti, so they have obviously done a good job with optimization. Smoke is present, however I wouldn't say it's there in any realistic quantity. Normally you can't even see your hand in front of your face inside of a burning structure, but I suppose this is just a game so it works. Each mission requires its own unique evaluation and plan depending upon the conditions found. Sometimes things explode. Other times they collapse. The fire can spread, and doing things like ventilation can affect this, as well as the level of smoke in the house. There is also a really detailed tutorial to teach you all the basics, and the equipment is very well detailed. Very nice. If everyone on your team does their job, and someone steps up to lead and does that well, it's a lot of good fun. To be honest though, that's about where the nice things I have to say about this game end, and where the laundry list of problems start. For starters, and probably the most unforgivable error, is that there is no in-game communication. Zero. Zip. None. No voice, no text chat, not even the ability to issue orders to human players. The most you can do is assign initial roles before the mission starts. Roles like, wait, what the f*** does that even mean? Oh, that is not what I was expecting at all. You're stuck trying to catch each other's attention by smacking each other up the side of the head with a tool or spraying them down with water and hope that they get the idea to follow you. If you're just playing with some friends in Discord, it's not a big deal, but if you just want to drop into some multiplayer games, well, good luck. The AI firefighters are also some of the most useless AI I've seen in a game in a very long time. It's not that they stand there and do nothing until ordered. I actually like how they do that and don't freelance their way into a task of their choosing. It's when you give them a task that they screw it up.
I can't find the right tool, boss. I'm on it. Yes, sir. I'm on it. Yes, sir.
If you assign them to fire suppression, they'll just spray that one area forever, even if it's not putting the fire out. You'll leave them and come back and the dude still hasn't made any progress on the fire. Like, come the f*** on, Proby, move that hose and get it done. They apparently don't know how to use a fire extinguisher either. If you need to use fire extinguishers, the only usefulness they'll provide you is simply carrying a spare so when yours runs out you can switch with them. You are also expected to drive like an absolute maniac to the fire to get a good rating for it. While I might hate this, I suppose most people would rather drive like it's a racing game to the fire and play it out realistically, stopping at all the red lights and slowing when traffic gets heavy. Sometimes I guess it is just fun to smash people out of the way. They also added in weird verbiage which drives me insane. The AI firefighters refer to you as a commander.
Yes, Commander.
Dispatch also talks in very unrealistic ways, giving orders to units on scene and assigns a unit to command, which is not how it happens. Once you arrive on scene, it's time to put the fire out, and probably what you're all here for. These can be very stubborn to extinguish. You would be very surprised how much you can do with very little water, yet you might not believe that the way this game plays out. You can also ignore the after action report as well. Their calculated flow rates are incredibly wrong. Quite often, fires will take forever to go out, or they just won't go out because you haven't accomplished a certain task first. For example, there is a mission where there is a pot on the stove with some grease in it. The game refused to let the rest of the fire go out until I cut a path to this damn thing and then put it out with the fire extinguisher. This leads me to 2 points. The first being that the missions are on rails. Yes, the fire can spread, but that's about the only dynamic part. If something is going to collapse or explode, it will do such despite your actions or inaction. The building can be on fire for an hour and it will never collapse, which is really just disappointing. The second point is that there's a lacking of a foam tank on the truck. To fight Class B fires, you need a fire extinguisher. There is zero capability to inject foam into the attack lines, which is also an effective way to deal with these in real life, but it's shockingly missing in this game. On the outside of the structure, the ground ladders are all preset and you can't move them. The later unlocked ladder truck and rescue trucks are also useless. They often have fewer to no discharges to hook up the hose lines to, and you can't even use the ladder to gain access to the roof to ventilate or even to gain access through a window. It just won't allow it. I don't even know why you would use one of the game's ladders to attack the fire either, because the point of view is horrible with the ladder blocking your vision. The stream almost never seems to make it to where it needs to go anyways. Lastly, the 4-player cap is disappointing. I was really hoping to see multiple trucks being able to respond, all having their own 4-man crew and the ability to assign an incident commander. Something like an 11 or 12-player cap would have been great. I've thrown a lot of information at you, so I'm going to summarize this into a quick pros and cons list, and then we'll assign a rating here in just a moment. High tension squad play. Things need to happen fast, and accomplishing this as a team is gratifying. Beautiful graphics. High level of vehicle detail. I love how real the trucks look, and almost all the little features are there, like discharge and inlet ports, and even the air brake's parking brake. The interiors are just really well designed. I love it. On the flip side, the fire simulation is bad, the game is lacking depth, lacking realism, and the gameplay is currently very limited. The gameplay can basically be summarized into walking over here, press E until said action completes, then walk over there, press left mouse button until the fire goes out. It should come as no surprise that I rate this one 4 out of 10, below average, and receives the buy after updates recommendation. They have a great base here, and if they actually update the game and listen to their players, it could be amazing. I've only clocked 9 frustrating hours in this game before getting sick of it. That's including the 2 hours of recording time for this video. 9 hours might be okay for a single player game, but you should expect to get vastly more from a multiplayer game. Given all of that, I want you to keep in mind my perspective and looking glass into this game as well. It's tough for someone who does a job in reality to play a simulator of it. That scenario pretty much always results in a mostly negative impression where all the little problems get torn apart and thrown onto the surface for everyone to see. You might actually like this one, so if you're watching the gameplay and you find that it looked like your fancy, don't let me hold you back. I'm just incredibly disappointed. This game could have been so much more, and you can really feel that when you play it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. It helps the channel a lot, as well as making sure you're alerted for my future content. Stay safe out there, everyone, and we'll see you on the fireground. Okay, so we got Jim and Bob here fighting the fire. Jim is currently having a nice spa date in there in his fire inferno, and Bob is, I don't know, he's just being Bob. Keep it up, buddy. Oh, God, what have I got myself into?